Why, hello there. Finally, the long-awaited Q&A. I have been talking about doing this for months now, I know, so I apologize, but here I am, I'm sitting down, I'm doing it, so let's get right into it. First question is, what is the best and worst reactions you've gotten from people about your makeup style, and have you ever worn the fangs in public? Yes, I have. What were people's reactions to those? Love your channels. Aw, thank you. I think the best reactions that I've gotten are just the compliments and the people saying nice things to me, because there are quite a few people who will say not so nice things. For example, I was going out with my best friend and we were food shopping, and I think one of those big chain stores like BJ's or Walmart, and I was dressed as my normal self with a wig and all black, a really tight fishtail skirt and heels and all that. And she was just so flabbergasted by how many people came up to me to talk to me or ask if I was a model. So I guess those are the best reactions. And then there are the worst reactions. So I don't know, I think I told this story on my Snapchat a while back, but I was out one day walking just because I like to go for walks sometimes, get some exercise, and there was this guy outside of his house. It was in a kind of like an apartment complex, and he was on his phone. And I was just walking, you know, I had my headphones in because I don't like to talk to people when I'm walking. So I had my headphones in, I was walking, and I was really hoping he wouldn't look up and see me or try to talk to me. And unfortunately, that was not the case. He looked up at me, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Oh, getting ready for Halloween, huh?" Kept walking, completely ignored him, and he was still on the phone. And as I was walking past him, I heard him kind of stop and say, "Hey man, you've got to check this freak out." And I was like, really? Was that necessary? So I didn't stop, I didn't say anything, but I really wanted to. I just kept walking. I don't know if he took a picture of my butt or not. I didn't stop to look, but just stuff like that made me so uncomfortable, and it's why I'm kind of afraid to go out in public by myself sometimes, because just people don't know how to shut their mouths. But now whenever I go out, I always try to have like a self-defense weapon or something like that, so in case I ever do get into like a physical altercation with someone, that I'm ready. And yes, I do wear the fangs out in public. Most people don't notice them, actually. I've worn them at work as well, and the same with colored contacts. Because I don't really talk to people a lot, I'm on the computer for most of my day, or on the phone if I need to talk to someone. But because people don't look me in the face or really like stare at me at work, they don't really notice if I'm wearing, you know, crazy contacts or my fangs. So I don't really get a reaction, but if I do get a reaction, it's normally scared. So that's always fun. Alright, that was a long answer to that question. Next question. What's an inspirational quote you live by every day? I don't think I live by any inspirational quote per se, but there is something that sticks out in my mind. I was hanging out with some friends one time, and this girl had just dyed her hair. It was like a bubblegum pink. It looked really pretty. One of the guys in the room, I guess he was trying to be complimentary to her, and he said, "Wow, you look like Katy Perry." And she said, "Thank you," but I forget how she said it, but it stuck in my mind so much. She said something like, "I'd rather just look like me," or "I prefer to look like me." And I thought that was really neat, because people always tend to try to compare you to some celebrity. For me, it's always, I get that I look like Lady Gaga or Emmy Rossum, which is fine. But I really like that she, instead of saying, "Yeah, I guess I look like Katy Perry," she's like, "I look like me." You know, I thought that was really neat. So I always just try to look like me and not try to look like anyone else, because I'd rather be me instead of just a copy of someone else, if that makes sense. Next question is, there's a few YouTubers and bloggers who quit their day job to fully focus on their dream job. Would you ever consider doing that, and why or why not? I would love to do YouTube, Instagram, social media full-time as a job, but I can't, because right now I am making peanuts. If I didn't have my desk job, so to speak, I would be making almost nothing. A lot of full-time YouTubers get their money not through views necessarily, but through sponsorships or promotions. You know, someone will pay them $200 to put a post up on Instagram, stuff like that. So I am not anywhere near that in terms of making money. So unfortunately, I cannot quit my day job to become a full-time YouTuber or Instagrammer, although I would love to. Next question is, hello there, hi. What's your favorite vampire movie and or person who has acted as a vampire? Oh boy, that's a lot of people. I'd probably say the first thing that comes to mind is actually Gerard Butler. He was in Dracula 2000, I think. I really liked him in that movie. He was really good looking. I think my favorite vampire movie would have to be the classic Bela Lugosi's Dracula, because he is just the classic vampire. Nobody can top him. He's amazing. I love classic horror black and white movies like that, so he will always hold a special place in my heart. He was the first vampire I ever saw as a young child. Next question is, how long have you been creating and posting your looks? And where do you learn about makeup? Hugs from Mexico. Oh, hugs from New York. I've been creating and posting my looks on Instagram now for 3 years, and for YouTube about 1.5 years. I actually learned about makeup from YouTube. I watched Michelle Phan when I was younger. I kind of just watched all the famous beauty gurus, and even now I still watch people to learn from them. I definitely learned most of what I know now just from practicing and just following YouTube tutorials. Next question is, what would be a goal of yours that's personal or has to do with makeup? Well, in terms of makeup, I would love to work for a big time company like Maybelline, L'Oreal, and do either modeling for them or kind of photo shoots, doing photography work, post-production things like photoshopping things or editing, because I really love doing that for my own personal page and Instagram. So I think that would be a really fun job. So it's kind of like my dream job right now, to work for a big makeup company like that. Next question. Oh, I've already done this. Ever consider doing a cover song on YouTube? I heard you sing and you have a lovely voice. Oh, thank you. I've actually done 2 covers so far. I have done a Lady Gaga cover, and then I just did a Disney cover of Ariel's Part of Your World. So if you guys haven't seen those, check them out. Next question is, what inspired you to do this style of makeup? It's my style too. That's awesome. So I really loved the whole goth aesthetic and look. Right when I was in college, I was very sheltered growing up, so I didn't know that there were alternative or gothic looks or ways of dress. So when I went to college, I got my laptop, and with my laptop came a whole bunch of new information and knowledge that I had no idea that there were so many different styles and different just ways of looking as a person, so I was really excited. So as soon as I found, I forget how, I found a gothic YouTuber, I'm sure, or some kind of thing on Tumblr, and I found them. I was so excited. I just loved the way that they looked, and that was kind of it. I fell in love with the way people look when they wear dark lipstick, black hair, you know, lots of eyeliner. Next question. How do you improve your skills? Have you taken classes or just practice? What inspires you to put the colors together for your looks? No, thank you. Well, honestly, the only thing that I can say that I've done to improve my skills is to practice. I remember I used to spend about 5 or 6 hours on a face painting, you know, just practicing and doing different techniques and watching other people do it and then replicating it on my own face. I've never taken any makeup classes. I would love to, but right now I can't really afford to go to makeup school, so maybe in the future. And what inspires me to put the colors together for my looks, I do a lot of color theory as an artist in terms of painting and fine art, so I think that's kind of translated into what I do to put stuff on my face. Next question, what was your favorite makeup brand when you first started doing makeup? Kat Von D. She was the first liquid lipstick I ever bought and the first big palette that I ever bought, which is the Mi Vida Loca palette. I love this thing. It's so good. I'm actually wearing it on my lower lid. I'm wearing the shade Hyper Ballad, I think. It's the only teal eyeshadow that I own. And favorite Manson album and or song? Marilyn Manson. I think my favorite song by him is Tainted Love, because I can always dance to that song. It makes me feel so sexy. I don't really have a favorite album per se, just favorite songs, so yes, that's my favorite Marilyn Manson song. Next question is, what primer do you use? I'm not sure if you mean eye primer or face primer, so I'll tell you both. I use a combination of the e.l.f. primer, like these, like the mineral primers, and I also use, this is my new favorite, the L'Oreal Magic Lumi primer. Expensive, but worth it. And in terms of eyes, I usually use my Urban Decay eyeshadow potion. Next question, how do you keep yourself motivated? That is an excellent question. It's actually pretty hard sometimes. I get really depressed and I feel like I've done everything, or I've done this look a million times, like how can I do something new? So I always go on Pinterest. Pinterest is my favorite thing to find inspiration as far as makeup. I like to look up digital illustrations. I really love seeing people draw kind of fairy tale creatures in Photoshop, so that's where I'll get some of my color inspirations from as well. Would you ever try acting? Yes, I would. I don't know if I'd be much good at it though, because filming something where you're just talking to a camera and there's no one else around, which is what I do most of the time, is very, very different from acting in a music video or in an actual film. I have tried acting in music videos before. The guy I was opposite with was a little awkward himself, and he didn't really like acting as well, so I kind of found it hard to work with him. So I don't know, I would love to try it again, but I don't really have many opportunities where I am in New York to just go out and, you know, find an acting job. Do you have tattoos or do you want some? And my second question is, would you ever do a tour for fans that can meet you? I would love to do a tour for fans that could meet me. I would love to meet all you guys and just give you hugs because you guys give me the nicest, sweetest messages. Honestly, I love waking up to new DMs or new comments on my YouTube videos because it makes my day so much better. And I love hearing that you guys enjoy what I do and that you like me, and it's such a nice feeling. Waking up to new messages in my inbox is like waking up to presents. I love it. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I would love to do a tour to meet everyone, but unfortunately you are all so spread around the world that I don't know where I would start, because there are people who watch me in France, in Germany, in Britain, California, Florida. And the other question you had was, do I have tattoos? No, I do not, and I do not really plan on getting any, because I am not a fan of things that are super, super permanent like tattoos. I love the way tattoos look on other people, like my boyfriend, but I don't really want any myself. Just discovered there was lipstick on my teeth. Hopefully that wasn't there the entire time. Beatrice! If you guys don't know who Beatrice Mariano Photography is, you guys should look her up. I'm gonna link her down in the description box below because she's adorable. She's asking all these ridiculous questions like, how can you be so perfect? Are you real? No, I'm not perfect and I'm not real, woman. But she is gorgeous and I love her work, so you guys should definitely check her out. She also has a YouTube channel, which I will also link down below. But I'm trying to find an actual question from this woman, and I think, oh, here's one. Which metal band that has broken up, doesn't exist anymore, etc. would you pay to see perform one last time? Ooh, that is an excellent question. First things that comes to mind is Pantera. I don't think they're around anymore, but I really enjoyed their music. What's your favorite type of cereal? I would have to say Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I can't have that anymore because of my celiacs. But that used to be my favorite cereal when I was growing up. Are you a cat or a dog person? I am both. I love cats and dogs. I really, really love pugs, especially little black pugs. And whenever I walk, when it's a nice day out, people are always walking their dogs. And I saw the cutest little black pug. I wanted to love him and snuggle him, but I restrained myself. I don't think I've met an animal that I disliked so far. What is your advice for someone who is starting out on YouTube? That is an excellent question. I think my advice would be to have a plan, and I think this is going to answer another question, but when I first made my YouTube account, I did it because I wanted to enter the Nick's Face Awards, which I also plan on doing again this year. Hopefully I make it this time. But I kind of had a plan that I was going to do at least one video a week, and that I was going to do face painting and makeup. You know, some people just kind of go into it and do a whole bunch of different things. I think if you focus on one specific area, then that will help, because then people will know what to expect from your videos, and then they'll kind of come back and want more, and you'll attract a more stable crowd of people, if that makes sense. And also, if you're just starting out on YouTube and you don't have a lot of money, you don't need to buy an expensive fancy camera, you don't need fancy lights. When I first started my YouTube channel, I used my phone to film all of my videos. And I also used little like clamp lights from Home Depot that I bought for $7 each. And it was really simple, really easy, but it worked and it looked good. And I also had a sheet as my background, which I kind of still do. So that's my advice for just starting out on YouTube. Why do you wear fangs? Well, I wear them because I like them and I like the way that they look. And I started wearing them on Instagram because I wanted to do something different, and I loved doing lipstick swatches and lip art, but I noticed that no one was really wearing fangs when doing like normal lip swatches. So I figured that I would be the first to do that, and I was, which is really exciting. And then I started getting noticed for it, and people would instantly recognize my lips, which was so cool. I'm still awed by the fact that people recognize me without, seeing that it's me at first. But yeah, I've always enjoyed vampires and fangs, so I wanted to have a pair of my own, so I went out and bought a pair. And this is the most commonly asked question: where my fangs are from. They are from Scarecrow vampire fangs. I will leave a link down in the description box for you guys. I always tag the company and I write where the fangs are from in every single picture, but somehow people still miss that, I guess. So yeah, my fangs are from Scarecrow vampire fangs. So now you all know. If you could only wear one color of lipstick, which one would you choose? I think we all know the answer to that question. Black. What advice would you give for a goth kid who wants to buy cute clothes but doesn't have much money? Thrift stores, Goodwill, Salvation Army. That's where I always get the most unexpected, awesome pieces of black clothing. They don't even have to be goth, typically speaking. Like this, I'm wearing like a little black crop top right now. Forever 21. There are some styles of clothing that you can only get through expensive retailers, but I think the simpler the better. I think it all depends on your personal style too. Like, I love finding odd pieces in Goodwills and just kind of putting them together like a beaded skirt or something like that goes over a top like this. Okay, final question, because this has probably gone on for way too long. What are your tips to take good close-up photos with the phone? Mine always end up blurry and not crystal clear. So it depends on what kind of phone you have. I have an iPhone 6, but I think the best tips that I can give you as far as getting good photos is lighting. Because whenever you have bad lighting, you're going to have a bad photo, and there's nothing you can really do to change that. So right now I have 2 softbox lights, and that's what I do for all my photos, my photo shoots, my videos. Those are just one of the many options that you guys can use. And the reason I have these guys is because I work all day, so I can't really take advantage of the natural sunlight, which is the best lighting you can ever have. So I need powerful indoor lights in order to get everything kind of crystal clear. In terms of getting the best photos, I would use a tripod. When I first started doing my photos, I would go outside and always do my makeup very early in the morning because I worked all day. And so I would get good photos by going out in natural sunlight and just taking, a picture. And the way I would take my pictures is I would hold my phone out so that the back was facing me, because the back-facing camera on iPhones are always the best. The front-facing ones are okay, but if you want a really, really great picture, I would use the back ones. And then I would take another mirror over here just so I could see, because, you'd see the photo over here. And I would take another mirror and kind of angle it so that I could see what I was doing, and then press the photo with this finger here. Complicated, but it worked. And then I discovered tripods. But I have a couple of big full-size tripods that are great for standing pictures, but for right now, for sitting, I like to use a little something like this guy. He's very bendy, so you can make him taller or smaller, and it has a little swivel guy right here. You have all my technical terms, swivel guy. And if you don't have, say a sitting down position that you want to do, if you still want to have a handheld photo, I would recommend using a selfie stick. I know some people make fun of you for using them, but they really are good in terms of getting, distance when you want to take a photo that looks like you're not just taking a normal selfie. The selfie stick that I got it from the app called Wish. There's also a website called wish.com. And I bought it for I think $5 or $6, and it came with this attachment for my smartphone which I can actually put on any of my normal tripods. And this is what it looks like. So you kind of screw it onto the tripod this way. So it would go on like this, and then it kind of opens up like that. So you can put your iPhone or any other kind of phone in it like this. Ta-da! And then you can just have it there and, take your photos, or either have it on a timer, or another thing that came with the selfie stick was a kind of Bluetooth shutter. Those are so important if you want to take, photos where you're kind of posing from further away, or if you're, have a selfie stick that doesn't have one of those buttons that makes the photo, that takes the photo for you. Having a Bluetooth shutter will change everything. It is so great. I still use a kind of Bluetooth shutter even for my DSLR camera right now. This is I guess, it's not a Bluetooth shutter, but this is more of a infrared shutter, so that's how I do all of my photography. I stand, further back, I look on my camera screen to see what I look like, and then when I'm happy with the pose and the position of everything, I press the button and the camera takes a picture. So that is how I do all of my own photography now. So I think that was really great that it came with a selfie stick, the attachment for your iPhone, and the Bluetooth shutter for $6 or $7. So if I can, I will try to link that below for you guys so you guys can see it as well if you're interested. But those are my tips as far as, you know, taking better photos, because I know it's really frustrating to have put all this time and effort into doing a look or an outfit and then trying to take your own photos and you might be shaky or the lighting's not good and then it won't come out the way you want it to. So I think if you get good lighting and you invest in like a Bluetooth shutter or a tripod, then your photos will get a lot better. Woo! So that is it for my Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's probably ridiculously long, I apologize. So thank you so much for everyone who gave me questions on my Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. I hope you liked this video. If you'd like me to do another Q&A, give me a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!